some of the fighters that you have right now training for fights. First off, let's talk about Casey. I really thought Casey was going to fight on the Contender Series, to be honest with you, you know, and did you feel that way? Like she was ready to go over there and compete on that stage? Or does she need a couple more fights, honestly?
I would like her to have a couple more fights. I think that she's able to compete for sure at at that level right now. I think that if she was in the UFC, she would do just fine. But I don't think that there's a need to rush her to get into the UFC. So yeah, I definitely 100% believe that she could fight in the UFC, or she could definitely fight on Contenders. And that was an option, but it's like I told her recently with the current times, man. Like if you're not in the UFC, it's if you're not in the UFC, or you're not in America, or you're not in maybe say like Europe, you could fight on Brave and stuff like that. It's very strange times, and it's not ideal for a lot of fighters, and that's just the travel and things like that right now is, it's obviously, that reporting on it, it's crazy. And I've got, like Top Noi, for example, we were hoping to get him around when COVID kind of kicked off, like get him a fight back in Ryzen in Japan. And the guy's been training, every day, way more than he's ever trained for a fight in the past. And he doesn't even have anything, lined up. And I can't even get the guy a fight right now, in Ryzen, because obviously you can't go to Japan. So it's a bit frustrating for some of the fighters that are not in the UFC and that are in smaller promotions. But yeah, it's just gotta kind of talk to them and keep them on course and keep working for the ultimate goal of getting where they want to be. But it's definitely. COVID has, and it's not just, our guys, it's everybody. And that's what I've tried to explain to them. You're not the only person when they get frustrated. You're not the only person that's in this situation. It's around the world. So, yeah.
Going back to, Casey and her development, she's been out there for, I believe, around a year, right? So like half the time has been COVID and the other half was when she was freely able to train. But now she's been back for, a couple months. What have you seen with her, like since she first started to now? Like what kind of development have you seen out of her?
Casey's a very I think if you're in the sport, you're a pretty driven person and whatnot. But Casey trains very, very hard, almost to the point where sometimes like we have to pull her back. But I would just say, overall she's a tough girl, man. She's been training a long time. She's been fighting for a while. And I would say just kind of like her overall complete game is, her striking and into her grappling. Cause obviously she's, I would say, probably best known for her grappling. But I think in her last fight, she showed that she can strike well as well. And just, her confidence of being a complete fighter and, putting it all together, I would say.
I've heard that she's like ultra competitive. Like she's like everything that she does, she wants to win, man. She's just that's something that's embedded in her.
Yeah, she's very competitive, extremely competitive. We were joking the other day after practice. I don't even remember what we were speaking about, but like when Cynthia Cavillo was out here training, in the latter part of last year. Because they're very they're both very competitive girls. So them like training together was like constantly like sometimes I'd have to be like, hey, not so hard or whatever. But no, Casey is very competitive. She wants to win. She has a drive. She holds herself to. She's I would say like almost she wants to be a perfectionist, which I think is not really possible in MMA. So yeah, but she's very competitive and she trains extremely hard.
Do you feel like if she gets this win in Abu Dhabi, her next fight, coming up in a couple weeks, she could be, on the doorstep of getting signed? Do you think that's possible right now in this climate with the UFC needing to sign fighters and especially women?
Yeah, I think that, like I said, man, I think there's a slew of girls that, she can beat already in the UFC. Like as far as her skill level, I think she's there for sure. Again, I just, I don't see any need to rush it. But yeah, I think she wins this fight, and she could get in, or she has another fight she could get in. But like I've told her, you're on your own journey. Um, you're making your own way, and we all, as a coaching staff and our management staff and our dietitian and everybody, we're all pretty much on the same page. And yeah, just don't look, like I've told her, don't look to the UFC. Don't, like, obviously that's your goal, and not just your goal to get there, but to stay there and to be a champion there, to be a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, just not to rush it. Just enjoy, like, the struggles of, like, right now, for example. Like, she hasn't fought in a while, and times aren't the easiest. They're not the easiest for anybody right now. For every fighter, it's hard right now, unless you're in the UFC and you're jumping on fights left and right that you can. But yeah, she's definitely ready, I would say. And yeah, just one fight at a time.